In 1994, 100 days, 800,000 people. A country so shattered that the UN general who was there said afterward he could have stopped it with 5,000 soldiers, and nobody sent them. The world looked away. Rwanda burned. Here is what that same country looks like today. Kigali is consistently ranked one of the 3 cleanest cities in all of Africa, cleaner than most European capitals you have visited. Every last Saturday of the month, every citizen in Rwanda, from the president to a schoolboy, puts down whatever they are doing, picks up a broom or a shovel, and cleans their neighborhood together, by law. Rwanda's parliament is 61.3% female. The highest share of women in any national legislature on the planet, higher than Iceland, higher than Sweden. And it happened in a country that was 30 years ago a mass grave. There is a mountain in Rwanda where 60% of the last 1,000 mountain gorillas alive on Earth make their home. There is a lake sitting on top of 60 billion cubic meters of methane gas, and Rwanda is harvesting it from the water. There is a word here, one word, that held together a people who had every reason to fall apart forever. And every September, under 8 volcanoes, Rwanda invites the world to give a name to a newborn gorilla. Kingdom of 1,000 Hills. They call it Pays des Mille Collines in French, land of 1,000 hills. But when you fly into Kigali and look out the window, 1,000 is an understatement. Every direction, every inch of this country rolls. No flat, no plains, just green hill after green hill, stitched with terraced farms all the way into the clouds. Rwanda is small, 10,169 square miles, roughly the size of Maryland, landlocked in the heart of Africa, sharing borders with the Democratic Republic of Congo, Uganda, Tanzania, and Burundi. You can drive across it in 4 hours, but the hills change everything. The highest point, Mount Karasimbi, rises 14,787 feet, nearly 3,000 feet taller than any peak in the continental United States outside Alaska. The Virunga volcano range anchors the northwest, 8 volcanoes, 3 shared with Congo and Uganda. One is named Sabinyo, which in Kinyarwanda means the old man's teeth, because its fractured peaks look like a broken jaw against the sky. Here is the miracle of the elevation. Rwanda sits right on the equator. You would expect scorching heat, but the altitude keeps Kigali at an average of 70 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. No air conditioning needed. 2 rainy seasons, March through May and October through November. Between them, dry, breezy, and completely walkable. Picture this. You're standing on a ridge in the eastern province at dawn. Mist pours between the hills below you like a slow tide. That is every morning here. This is not a postcard. It is just Tuesday in Rwanda. And somewhere in the northwest, in the forest above 14,000 feet, something is watching you back. We will get there. Before we continue our wonderful journey to Rwanda, let me know what time it is, where you are watching, and which country you are in. Drop it in the comments below. Now, sit back, relax, and let us go deeper into these hills together. The 100 Days. April 6th, 1994. A plane is shot down over Kigali. Within hours, the killing begins. Not slowly, not randomly. With lists, with names, with neighbors turning on neighbors. Within 100 days, an estimated 800,000 people are dead. Mostly Tutsi, some moderate Hutu. It is the fastest mass killing in recorded human history. Here is what the world does not say often enough. Rwanda had been built for this. Belgian colonizers arrived in the 1920s and formalized ethnic identity cards, Hutu, Tutsi, and Twa, based largely on how many cattle a family owned. Before colonization, these identities were fluid and socially porous. After the cards, they became permanent destiny. Historian Philip Gorovich documented how the Belgian obsession with racial categorization transformed a system of social roles into an inherited caste, with its own bureaucracy and eventually its own killing machinery. Colonialism did not pull the trigger, but it loaded the gun. Today, Rwanda has made one of the most radical decisions any post-genocide country has attempted. It abolished ethnic categories on identity cards entirely. No Hutu, no Tutsi, Rwandan. The Kigali Genocide Memorial holds the remains of 250,000 victims, free to enter. Every April, the country observes Kwibuka, the remembrance period. Flame, silence. Testimony. Rwanda still looks at what happened rather than away from it. The people of the hills. 14 million people live in Rwanda. The average age is 19. More than half this country was not born before the genocide ended. They are the generation building what comes after. One language connects nearly all of them, Kinyarwanda. Rare in Africa, where colonial borders cut across dozens of language groups. Rwanda has one shared tongue. It makes something possible here that is hard to explain from outside. A sense that everyone is literally speaking the same thing, in more ways than one. The word that holds the culture together is Ubuntu. The Rwandan version of Ubuntu. Roughly, I am because we are. Your humanity is not something you carry alone. It lives in how you treat the person beside you. After 1994, this word became the philosophical backbone of community courts, the reconciliation program, and the Saturday cleaning law you are about to hear about. It is the word that made rebuilding possible before any government policy could arrive. Hello here is muraho. Say it with a slight upward lift at the end. People will smile every time. There was a woman named Vestine in the Eastern Province who lost her husband in 1994. She joined a craft cooperative in 2003. Her geometric artwork now sells in a gallery in Brussels for $300 a piece. She said once to a visiting journalist, "I learned this from my mother. My mother learned it from hers. Nobody can burn that. That is Ubuntu, not a slogan, a way of surviving." You are already falling in love with Rwanda. Drop a 1 in the comments below. Stay with me, my friend, because what comes next will change everything you thought you knew about what a country can choose to become. And make sure you subscribe to Travel Around Earth so you never miss the next journey. The Saturday Republic. Here is the moment you will never find in another Rwanda travel video. It is 7:58 in the morning on the last Saturday of the month. The streets of Kigali go quiet. Not because it is early, because the law says so. No cars on the road, no open shops, no exceptions whatsoever. By 8 a.m., the president of Rwanda is outside with a broom. A schoolboy named Innocent in Musanze is outside with a shovel. A grandmother in Gisenyi is cutting roadside brush with a machete. And for 3 hours, they clean Rwanda together. This is Umuganda, from the Kinyarwanda phrase meaning coming together in common purpose. It runs the last Saturday of every month, 8 to 11 a.m., nationwide. Foreigners residing in Rwanda for more than 1 month are expected to participate. The fine for skipping is real. The enforcement is consistent. Between 2007 and 2024, Umuganda generated an estimated $600 million worth of free community labor. Classrooms, drainage systems, reforestation projects, rebuilt homes after floods, all delivered by neighbors in 3-hour Saturday sessions. Community elders describe Umuganda as the one morning they actually speak to neighbors they would never otherwise encounter. A surgeon stands next to a bus driver. A senator digs a trench beside a teenager. Rank means nothing for 3 hours. Whether you call this brilliant social engineering or soft authoritarianism with good public relations depends entirely on who you ask. Critics with serious credentials say mandatory civic duty enforced by fines is coercion with a better brand. Defenders say every country with clean public space either pays armies of sanitation workers or builds a culture. Rwanda built the culture. The streets are the evidence. I genuinely do not know which argument wins. Both feel true. What is not in question is the result. Kigali, city reborn. 30 years ago, Kigali was a city of roadblocks. Men with machetes standing at intersections, checking identity cards. Today, those same streets hold electric buses, rooftop cafes, tech startup offices, and a cycling infrastructure that shames several European cities I can name. Plastic bags have been illegal since 2008, the first nationwide ban of its kind anywhere on Earth. At the border, customs officers search luggage and confiscate plastic bags. No appeal, no exceptions. The country is measurably cleaner for it. Every moto-taxi driver must carry a spare helmet for their passenger by law and wear one themselves. In most African capitals, suggesting this is met with a laugh. In Kigali, not doing it is a fine. In 2016, Rwanda launched Zipline, the world's first national drone delivery network for medical supplies. Drones fly autonomous routes from 4 distribution centers, dropping blood, vaccines, and snake antivenom by parachute into hospital parking lots in hills no road ambulance can reach in time. By the early 2020s, 30% of Rwanda's entire national blood supply was being delivered by drone. A country that had to rebuild. The Imigongo market, Rwanda's largest, spreads for blocks. Dried fish next to fresh pineapple, next to Agaseke piece baskets, retailing in New York for $80. This is where Kigali breathes. Part 6. The Tea Hills. Leave Kigali heading west. Within 20 minutes, the city dissolves and the hills take over. Terraced farms climb every slope. Sorghum, cassava, bananas, sweet potatoes. Then, around the northern highlands, the terraces change color. They go dark green. That is tea. Rwandan coffee and Rwandan Highland tea are among the most sought after in international specialty markets. Walking through the Sorwath tea estate near Kinihira at dawn, mist below, pickers moving between the rows, the smell of wet leaves and cool air is one of the cleanest sensory experiences on this continent. Rwanda's coffee sector employs approximately 400,000 smallholder farming families. After the genocide, the government deliberately chose specialty coffee as a rebuilding tool, converting subsistence plots into internationally traded export crops. At the 2023 Cup of Excellence Rwanda competition, the top lot from a cooperative in the northern province scored 92 points and sold at auction for $172 per pound. The farmer who grew it earned enough to rebuild his home. He said, "The hill grew this. The hill healed me too." In the village of Musanze, 4 hours north of Kigali, the Virunga volcanoes fill the entire northern horizon. Houses are single-room brick with tin roofs, a goat tied to a post, children in school uniforms walking 6 days a week, women carrying produce and water jugs balanced on their heads, conversation never stopping. There is something I keep returning to about a Rwanda coffee bag on a shelf in Brooklyn. The hills that hid bodies in 1994 now grow something beautiful that crosses the world. I honestly do not know if that is healing or irony. Maybe for Rwanda it is both at once, and that is the only honest way to hold it. The last mountain gorillas. You hear it before you see it. A branch crack. Then silence. Your guide holds up a fist. Everyone stops. Then, 10 feet ahead, through a wall of stinging nettles and bamboo, a shape the size of a refrigerator shifts in the green. A silverback. He turns. Yellow eyes. You are close enough to smell him. There are approximately 1,069 mountain gorillas left on Earth. That is the entire global population as of the most recent census. Roughly half live in the Virunga Massif, shared between Rwanda, the DRC, and Uganda. In Rwanda's Volcanoes National Park, 7 gorilla families have been habituated to human presence. 56 visitors per day maximum. 1 hour with the animals. 1 permit, $1,500. That price is not accidental. 10% of every permit goes directly to surrounding communities, schools, health centers, local roads. The villages that once poached gorillas for bushmeat now earn sustainable income from their survival. The gorilla is worth more alive than dead, and that math reaches every family within 10 miles of the park. In 2008, fewer than 620 mountain gorillas existed on this planet. In 2018, 1,069, a 72% increase in 1 decade. Mountain gorillas are the only great ape species whose wild population is currently growing. Gorillas share 98.3% of human DNA. Sitting with a family for 60 minutes, watching a mother groom her infant, watching the silverback eat leaves with the patience of someone who has nowhere else to be, you understand something about being alive that no screen can give you. My friend, that hour is worth every dollar of the permit. Dian Fossey. In 1967, a 35-year-old American woman named Dian Fossey set up a camp in the mountains of Rwanda and started counting gorillas. She named them. She imitated their postures and sounds. She sat in the rain beside them until they stopped running. When poachers came for the animals she had spent years learning to trust, she fought back physically, dismantling traps, confronting hunters on the mountain, staging counter-operations that made her very powerful enemies in a very remote place. On December 26, 1985, Dian Fossey was found murdered in her cabin at the Agaseke Research Center at 12,000 feet. The killer was never conclusively identified. She was buried the following morning in the gorilla cemetery, next to her favorite gorilla, Digit, killed by poachers in 1978. She had asked to be buried there years before it happened. Picture this. You can hike to her grave today. 2 hours through mountain forest she walked for 18 years. You read her name on a simple wooden marker. Next to it, Digit. Around them both, in the same trees, the gorillas she spent her life protecting are still there. In 2022, the research center she founded moved to a permanent campus at the base of Volcanoes National Park, the Ellen DeGeneres campus of the Dian Fossey Gorilla Fund. Ellen DeGeneres donated $5.5 million to build it. Fossey once wrote in her journal, "When you realize the value of all life, you dwell less on what is past and concentrate more on the preservation of the future." Rwanda, of all places on this earth, seems to have heard her. The methane lake and the drone network. 2 hours west of Kigali, the hills break open and Lake Kivu appears. 1,040 square miles of deep blue water between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Congolese mountains on one side, Rwandan tea terraces on the other. The lakeside town of Rubavu, also called Gisenyi, is known locally as the Riviera of Rwanda. Beach bars, kayakers, cyclists, and sunsets over the Congo border that stop you mid-sentence. But Lake Kivu holds a secret, 1,000 feet below its surface. It sits on approximately 60 billion cubic meters of methane gas and 300 cubic kilometers of carbon dioxide, produced by volcanic activity beneath the lake floor and trapped at depth by pressure and chemistry. It is one of only 3 exploding lakes in the world, a lake that, if its stratification failed, could asphyxiate every living thing within 25 miles of the shore. Rwanda is harvesting it. A project called KivuWatt operates a barge that extracts methane from 1,148 feet below the surface, pipes it to the top, and burns it to generate electricity. The lake holds enough fuel for 430 megawatts for 50 years. Above the hills, my friend, the future arrives by air. Zipline drones drop blood and medicine by parachute into hospital lots no ambulance can reach. 30% of the national blood supply delivered by drone. The same sky that watched 1994 now carries medicine to the same hills. That is the entire Rwanda story in one sentence. Nyungwe, Africa's oldest forest. Far in the southwest, something ancient has survived everything. Nyungwe National Park covers 970 square miles of montane rainforest at an average elevation of 7,000 feet. Scientists estimate this forest has been continuous, unbroken, for at least 2 million years. It survived the Ice Ages. It survived the colonial era. It survived 1994. It is one of the oldest surviving rainforests on the African continent, and almost no international traveler knows it exists. Colobus monkeys with long, flowing white and black capes that leap between trees 40 feet above the forest floor. The biodiversity is staggering for a park this unknown. The canopy walkway runs 500 meters across a gorge, 180 feet above the forest floor. Walking it in morning mist while chimpanzees call somewhere below is one of the most physically disorienting experiences in Africa. You are walking through air in a forest that predates the first human being. Nyungwe also feeds the upper catchment of the Nile River. Rainfall here contributes to water that eventually reaches Egypt, 2,000 miles to the north. This forest is literally watering a continent. The Congo-Nile Trail runs 227 kilometers along its western edge, through tea estates and villages, each offering homestay accommodation funded by trail fees. The forest survives because surrounding communities now benefit from keeping it standing. Food. Every meal in Rwanda starts the same way. A mound of stiff white porridge called ubugali, made from cassava flour steamed until completely dense. You eat it with your right hand. You pinch off a piece, press it into a small cup shape with your thumb, dip it into whatever is beside it, and eat. No fork version, no polite version. You get in with your hands, and that is entirely the point. Beside the ubugali is sombe, cassava leaves simmered low and slow with eggplant, garlic, and palm oil until they collapse into something green, rich, and deeply savory. The dish every Rwandan grandmother makes. It gets cooked when someone has died and the family needs feeding.
It gets cooked when a baby is born and the family celebrates. The same pot, both occasions. That is isombe. Then there are brochettes, grilled goat, beef, or pork on a skewer, charred over charcoal, served with chips and chili sauce. Every street corner in Kigali after dark is lit by a charcoal grill. The smell of brochettes at 8 in the evening is the smell of this city being fully alive. Traditional drink? Urwagwa, banana or sorghum beer. Slightly sour, slightly fizzy, brewed in ceramic pots and drunk through a shared straw at community gatherings. Modern choice? Primus Lager, brewed in Rwanda since 1959. Cold and
A Northern Province cooperative lot sold for $172 per pound in 2023. Drink it here first. Nowhere else will it taste quite the same. Imigongo and Agaseke. There is an art form in Rwanda that exists nowhere else on this planet. It is made from cow dung, and my friend, it is genuinely beautiful. Imigongo originated in the kingdom of Ndorwa in eastern Rwanda. Fresh cow dung is shaped by hand into raised geometric patterns on a flat surface, spirals, zigzags, concentric diamond rings, then dried, sanded completely smooth, and painted with natural pigments: white clay, charcoal black, ochre red, ash gray. The result looks like a cross between Islamic geometric tilework and 20th century op art, raised from the surface in 3 dimensions, and every inch of it was made by hand. After the genocide, the Kakira Cooperative in Kirehe district revived Imigongo as economic recovery for widows and survivors. Today, pieces sell in galleries in Kigali, New York, and Brussels. The women who make them earn sustainable, independent income from an art their grandmothers nearly lost forever. Picture this. A woman named Vestine in Musanze sits weaving an Agaseke piece basket by the light through a tin-roofed window. Her hands move without looking, each coil tightening the one before, a pattern her grandmother spent years teaching her. The basket will travel 10,000 miles and end up on a shelf in a Brooklyn apartment. Both places are part of the same story.
Agaseke baskets, tightly coiled from sweetgrass and sisal with bold natural dye patterns, were traditionally given at Rwandan weddings. They now sell internationally in retail stores across the United States. 2 objects, 2 continents, 1 set of hands that remember everything.
Music and the drums. You will hear it before you understand it. A low, deep thud, then another, then a rhythm that you feel in your chest before your ears have finished processing it. That is the ngoma, the royal drums of Rwanda. Historically, the ngoma were sacred objects of the Nyungwe kingdom, each drum individually named, each one guarded by dedicated royal drummers, beaten at coronations, at planting ceremonies, at the welcoming of rain. After the colonial period and 1994, these traditions were nearly lost. Today they are performed at national ceremonies and cultural events, and the sound they make belongs to no other place on Earth.
The traditional dance that accompanies them is Intore, meaning the chosen ones. Historically, warrior dancers selected from the royal court, performing in feathered headdresses of white colobus monkey fur and papyrus reeds, carrying small shields, their footwork fast and their jumps high, every movement telling a story. Today, Intore is performed at the King's Palace Museum in Nyanza and at national celebrations. It is a living tradition. In contemporary Kigali, the Inima Arts Center is the most important gallery in the country, founded by brothers Emmanuel and Innocent Nkurunziza, displaying Rwandan painters in bold, saturated colors that fuse traditional imagery with modern East African life. Works from Inima have toured internationally. In villages at night, the traditional trough zither called the inanga still plays, its sound thin and haunting, like water running over stones in the dark. Grandmothers still play it. Their grandchildren record them on smartphones and post the videos online. Naming the gorillas. Once a year, in September, Rwanda holds a ceremony no other country on Earth can hold. Kwita Izina, in Kinyarwanda, to give a name. And what Rwanda names, every year, are its newest mountain gorillas. The ceremony takes place at the base of the Virunga volcanoes. World leaders, conservationists, celebrities, and surrounding community members gather. One by one, newborn gorillas identified by rangers in the weeks before are given names by their godparents. The names always reflect the times. Ihangane, meaning patience. Urumuri, light. Amahoro, peace. Since 2005, Rwanda has named over 300 gorillas at Kwita Izina. In 2022, godparents included Idris Elba, Naomi Campbell, and several African heads of state. The ceremony has raised millions for conservation and turned gorilla birth into a global media event. Turning conservation success into a naming celebration the world watches every September is honestly one of the most effective acts of wildlife diplomacy I have ever seen. And then there is this. Rwanda's parliament is 61.3% female, the world's highest by a significant margin. This was not purely a policy design. After the genocide, so many men were killed or imprisoned that women stepped into every gap by necessity, as community leaders, as local Gakaka court judges, as village administrators, as national politicians. The government codified reserved seats afterward, but necessity had already forced the outcome before the policy arrived. Rwanda's women did not rise to power as a policy experiment. They inherited a country because half its men were gone, and they rebuilt it anyway. That is not a statistic. That is a civilization restarting itself with whoever was left standing. And it worked. Your Rwanda playbook. All right, my friend, before we wrap up, here is everything you need to actually go. Best time to visit? June through September. The dry season, gorilla trekking trails fully open, highland weather at its best.
January through February is the second dry window, quieter and cheaper. Avoid deep April, Kwibuka Remembrance Period. Some service is slow and the national mood shifts. Plan accordingly. Getting there? No direct flights from the US. Fly into Kigali International via Ethiopian Airlines through Addis Ababa, Qatar Airways through Doha, or Brussels Airlines. JFK to Kigali round trip runs roughly $1,200 to $1,800 in 2026. Total flight time, 16 to 20 hours. Costs? Budget travelers can manage $45 to $70 a day. Guest houses, 20 to 35, brochette meals, 3 to 5, moto taxis, 1 to 3. Mid-range runs $120 to $200. Gorilla trekking permit, $1,500. Book months ahead at visitrwanda.com. Golden monkey trekking, $100. Nyungwe chimpanzees, $90. Money, Rwandan franc, roughly $1,300 to $1,400 RWF per dollar in 2026. Major cards work in Kigali. Cash essential outside the capital. Visas. Americans receive the East African tourist visa at $100 covers Rwanda, Uganda, and Kenya in one trip. Excellent value if combining gorillas with Bwindi or a Nairobi leg. 3 rules. Number 1, no plastic bags. Declare any at the border or they will be confiscated without exception. Number 2, Umuganda. Last Saturday every month, 8 to 11 a.m. Join in or stay indoors. Number 3, never photograph military installations, the presidential compound, or government buildings without explicit written permission. People have been arrested for this. Do not test it. The US State Department rates Rwanda level 1. Exercise normal precautions for Kigali and most of the country. Some DRC border areas are level 2. Check travel.state.gov before booking. And now we have arrived at the answer this film set out to find. What does a country do with 30 years after the worst 100 days in modern history? It names its gorillas. It cleans its streets on the same Saturday, every month, every citizen, every rank. It elects women in numbers no parliament on earth has matched. It abolishes the identity category that nearly destroyed it. It harvests fire from a lake that could explode. It revives art made from cow dung and sells it in Brussels. It makes coffee from the same hills where the worst of it happened. And every September, under the shadow of 8 volcanoes, it gathers to give a name to a creature that has come back from the edge of forever. Rwanda is not just a place. It is proof that the darkest chapter a nation can write does not have to be the last one. If the people who survive it decide to write something completely different instead, you will leave here with something you cannot quite name. A quiet, clean, green kind of belief that starts somewhere in the mist between the hills. If this journey moved you, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss the next country we explore together here on Travel Around Earth. Until next time, my friend. Morabeho. Stay well. Goodbye from Rwanda.